at me, fella. Look here. Sci Fi.
One for C-Lab, two for Troy Eagle, three for Wolverine to round out the trio. In this episode, everybody dies.
Broadcasting live from inside the Power Band, this is The Blah. In this episode, everybody dies. I'm your host, the Wolverine, along with my fellow companions, traveling companions, hetero life companions. The Lisan Al-Higgs, also known as Ben.
Hey. Howdy.
And the incomparable Slab 2 Weeks.
What's up?
Also known as Chad. Welcome to the show, folks. This week we've come in contact with the 1997 film Contact,
Hey,
starring Jodie Foster, Father Joss, Tom Skerritt with a nice mustache. We got Bill Fichtner. We got all these great people in this movie, man. Let's get into this. High level, dude. What's up?
You guys go first. I don't deserve to do the first high level.
All right, I'll go first. I forgot how great this movie was. It holds up beautifully. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The movie, one of the strengths of the movie that kept popping out at me is just the awesome pacing in this movie, man. It's like you start it and you're just like, oh, holy shit, we're in the end. And the cast was great, man. You know, adapted from a Carl Sagan novel. Unfortunately, Carl died during the making of the movie. He was supposed to have a cameo in the movie, but Carl was a legendary guy in the, you know, sort of, I guess, astrophysics community. No, maybe not astrophysics, or astronomy community. He was just science community. He was a great guy. He was well loved, well regarded, and this movie, I don't know if you could do like a better send off to your life than this movie. It's a shame he never got to see it. But he was heavily involved in the production, and that's a great thing, man. And it's a great movie. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Next contestant.
I like it.
Noise. Yeah, I came for Carl Sagan, and I stayed for Jodie Foster.
There you go.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, I don't know when I first saw this. I didn't go to the theater and see it, but I caught it on video or got it on HBO or something, you know, soon after its debut. And, you know, being that it's a Carl Sagan, I'm a huge Carl Sagan stan. He's one of the best science communicators we've ever had. And he's just got a very poetic sense of how to put things. My dad had this like Cosmos hardcover Cosmos companion book.
Sick.
When I was a kid, that I just used to like leaf through all the time. And,
oh, that's so cool,
you know,
dude.
I was a huge fan of the original Cosmos series.
Totally.
And yeah, this just has that kind of vibe. I think it's well done in terms of like how like the government would react, and like how like, you know, the religious sect would try to like stick themselves in between everything. I found myself constantly annoyed with McConaughey's character over all that horse shit, and you know, found myself really identifying with Jodie Foster. And yeah, I think Jodie Foster is fucking terrific in this. She didn't get any accolades for it. She should have, because she really brings it.
She came to play, dude.
Yeah, and everybody's great. You know, it's a great cast. I think, you know, we're brought here by David Morse, either being like, you know, having a weird niche in Hollywood as either like a total fucking creeper or like, you know, the world's most beloved dad.
Totally, dude.
That's like sort of what like prompted
Nails
this.
it again.
So, you know, last movie he was the creeper. This movie he's like super beloved dad.
Mm-hmm.
So I will leave it there.
Nice.
Very nice place to leave it, and a very nice high level, I might add. I would give that high level an A+. It was so damn good.
All right.
Yeah. Chadwick, what's up?
What's the
Krusty?
the wolf from Pulp Fiction. It's like, let's not start sucking each other's dicks yet, gentlemen.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, boy. Okay, here we go. Chad hated the movie. Hey, folks, spoiler alert. Chad hated the movie.
No, I didn't. Yeah, it was actually really interesting, because I've always known it is a kind of iconic, certainly harder science fiction-y movie. Like it's kind of more of a Close Encounters. I mean, Close Encounters isn't hard, but you know what I mean. It's not like pew pew laser bullshits, laser sword shit.
No. And just for clarification for everybody listening, this is the first time you've seen this movie.
Yeah. Because, technically, it's the first time my eyes watched the movie. I've been in a room while the movie played, and I was making out with my girlfriend at the age of 17 or whatever.
Dude, sweet.
So I was busy, but it was just really interesting to experience the movie because I've always kind of like known it exists. I've known it's less pew pew lasery, and I love Jodie Foster, and so I expect nothing less than a great flick. It was. I don't know if I'd say it was great, but I think it is. I think the issue is that I think I really just needed to see it in the 90s. I think it has a little bit of a different.
Sure.
It just sits differently considering how many movies probably lifted from it, copied it, or did stuff similar to it,
sure.
So it's nothing against the movie. It's just kind of maybe like experiential. But
sure.
You guys covered it well. I mean, it was really enjoyable to kind of hang out with Jodie Foster for the length of the flick. And for some reason, and this is probably just me, but I got kind of hung up on the fact that she's now out as queer or lesbian, and it was just kind of like her acting in the scenes with McConaughey and pretending she was into him. I kind of felt were interesting to me because it was kind of a proxy for her acting as the character being awkward around the religiosity too. I think it's just all in my head, but it was just kind of now that I know that she
not really
would have just been what the fuck about, I guess she was just sexualized quite young from Taxi Driver, and probably got a lot of the Drew Barrymore-esque or Natalie Portman-esque people treating her like shit or an object. And I just feel her history and her career and her chops as an actor is just so complex that just being able to kind of have that lens to view how she would have, maybe interpreted or dealt with a scene. It was just kind of an interesting layer that probably is just me, but she did a fucking fantastic job. Right. I don't think I've seen her play. There's something really subtle about the type of nerd she is. It would have been really, maybe not for her, but it would have been easy for a writer or director to go full pocket protector with her role.
Sure.
And the fact that she wasn't, the fact that she was just super genuine, curious, and stuck to her principles was just really a major driving force of the flick. So I think my high level is I don't have any nostalgia, so it was weird to experience it now, and she's just a major driving force, and then we can dig into all the details. The cast is exceptional, and there's all kinds of random little bits. Rob Lowe is just the most hateable fuck knuckle lawmaker, there's all kinds of little things.
Totally.
The blind swordsman, audio nerd, William Fichtner, I love him so much. So there's lots of great stuff in here.
First question to Jarhigo, what about Palmer Joss did you not like? You mentioned that in your high level.
I'm just generally annoyed by the conflict, or the perceived conflict, or the that he's become spiritual advisor to the White House. Just fuck off. B, that he essentially doesn't select her because he doesn't want her to, he selfishly doesn't select her, but then he has the nerve to be well, I couldn't send somebody that doesn't believe in God.
Yeah.
Sure.
I just don't see what the fuck that has to do with anything. The hubris that you would believe that an alien intelligence would worship. I'm not saying they wouldn't have religion, but that they would believe in not to mention no other religion gets a fucking say, right? The fucking, the Buddhists or the, whoever, or whatever, the fucking pagans aren't there. Hey, we want, but you don't believe in Thor, there's right. They're not there, The only religion that gets a say in anything here is Christianity, or by proxy, any of the Abrahamic religions, I guess.
Sure.
And just like the hubris of believing that, you know, an alien civilization would have the same beliefs or that they would even care about that is just ridiculous to me. And the fact that that had to play any fucking part in anybody's decision making on who would go or how we would communicate with them just seems ridiculous, you know? Like, if anything, somebody that's impartial would be better, you know? Like, you know, people believe different things, you know? Like, that's like, how much further does it need to go than that, you know? Like,
right. But even in the scope of the movie, because the movie is kind of like, you know, faith versus not faith, you know, faith versus science, you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
it's a central theme in the movie, and it's interesting. I think that's another driving point of the movie and kind of what makes it interesting, you know what I mean? So the idea of, like, I get the idea of like aliens not believing, or some extraterrestrial life not believing in like Abrahamic religion, sure, but you think it's outside what?
It's just the fact that nobody else gets a fucking say doesn't.
That I get
100%.
Yeah,
and
100%.
You know, just in general, he gives like the worst fucking analogy when she asks him about like his faith. Like, I forget exactly what he brings up. He's like,
"Do you love your dad?"
Yeah, you love your dad. We'll prove it. You know, it's like, what the fuck does it, like? That's a non sequitur. That has nothing to do with anything. Like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it is reasonably accurate to how we would, as a society, or maybe in the States in particular, handle the same situation. Like, there's nothing about Rob Lowe or the religiosity that is inaccurate about.
I'm not saying it that it's. I'm not saying that it's not accurate. I just fucking hate it, and it annoys the shit out of me. So, you know, that's it.
Yeah.
You mean that nobody else was represented? As opposed
to
that,
but also just the religiosity stuff. The like, why are we talking about?
Yeah.
Why are we talking about Jesus here, guys? Exactly. Like, it's got nothing to do with anything. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of funny. I guess it is the dichotomy of, I don't give a fuck what people believe in. Generally, I prefer if they don't like take it out on others, but like that broadly. But it's just kind of funny when it's like, if you have some sort of religious belief, like, let's just say for the sake of example, you are Christian or whatever, and you believe in God, then it's like super logical to you that the entire universe is, you know, ruled, for lack of a better term, by God, or created by God, and therefore all of the aliens should know Jesus. But it's also like, just seems really fucking stupid to me. Like, I guess it's just the disconnect. I've never been able to connect those two dots, and I think like Sagan talks about how he doesn't see that much of a difference between science and religion, and it actually, there are, like, to your point about some of the themes here of like, you know, there is a certain level of faith involved in both, and I personally would kind of disagree, but I kind of get where he's coming from. Like, it just legit just doesn't connect for me. I just don't see how you could believe both things. And maybe that's why it's explored, you know?
You mean be like a person of faith and be a person of science? You don't see how those two things could occupy the same space?
I don't see how I guess I do see how they could occupy the same space, but at some point it breaks down for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just say it's at some point it breaks down for me. That's all.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, it's reasonable to be like, I'm not judging anybody, just to be clear. I don't give a shit.
I think at some point you have to be like, I just have believies, you know, like, I know it doesn't make sense. if you're a person of science that believes, like, you have to be like, yeah, I know.
Like, broadly, there can, like, I don't have any sort of internal logical conflict with the idea that a greater power created the universe, right? But there being capital G biblical God and capital J biblical Jesus, and the dudes hanging out fucking up there waiting for us at a pearly gate, so to speak, seems really incongruous with anything other than a fucking comic book or like myth, you know?
Sure.
And
I mean,
I guess
what's wrong with it?
maybe sorry?
What's wrong with it? Ask a Hindu, ask a Native American, ask, you know, like whatever. Like, they're, you know, the thing that people don't seem to get is that, like, whatever God you believe in means that you're an atheist in regards to every other God that has existed throughout time or that people have believed in. So
which that just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like broadly, for me at least, if you believe in a higher power, like if a person believes in a higher power, and let's just say it rhymes with like high level Christian or Muslim values of like loving thy neighbor and like being a good person and all of the kind of basics. Like I resonate with that. I don't resonate with the like, yes, but in my book it says this and you're all fucking heathens. It's like, well, that I don't resonate with, regardless of what religion it is. And it's like that's where it breaks down for me. Like when it's like, if there is a higher reason and it is good or bad, or bad, like goodness or whatever, then it's like, yeah, okay, cool. That level of religion is in keeping with science. But when it's like, you bad, me good, we're going to heaven, you're not, like that's where I don't understand what you're talking about. And that's where it breaks down for me. Does that make sense?
Kind of, in the sense that science and religion can't, or spirituality is a better way to put it, can't occupy the same space.
I think spirituality and science can occupy the same space, but I think organized religion and science can't occupy the same space.
Yeah, okay. Well, when you put it like that, I mean, I can get down with that for sure. I mean, I can get down with all of it, really. It's, whatever's whatever and whatever's you think,
Well, it is a major theme of the
asking,
movie, to your point, Yeah.
Well, that's why I asked, because it is related to the movie, you know what I mean? And
she has a moment of faith in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee or whatever the fuck she's talking to.
Well, yeah. That's the biggest one. Yeah, absolutely. Because she's basically like, you gotta believe me. You gotta take me on faith. You know what I mean? I mean, to kind of start at the end of the movie. But I think like when this movie came out, I definitely would have been like, yeah, I don't see how those two things could occupy the same space. But certainly religion and science. But now, where I am now, here we are, 30 years later almost since the movie came out, I would say spirituality and science can occupy the same space for sure.
That seems reasonable to me. And there are many religions that are spiritual.
And even if we don't think it can, there are people out there that are doing it. So, it's like whatever, bully to them. So I don't know.
It does to come back to Ben's point though, like I think maybe really like my opinion on McConaughey's character is like he's not overly believable. Like it's just like he's the random dude that gets brought into your like spiritual advisor to all of these like politicians because he wrote a fucking book. Like whatever, man. Like
he wrote some books.
Yeah, he reminded me, like when I was watching it, he reminded me of Owen Wilson from Royal Tenenbaums, like the Eli Cash character who's like, just like it was just like I found it funnier than I found it believable. And he was like so, I don't know, he was so like sure of himself at the cafe when he met her. And so sure of himself lying in bed being like, is it hard being alone? It's like, dude, we just met. Like, fuck you, man. And she literally was just like, yeah, I'm out of here, dude. Like, but like the whole kind of vibe of it is that like he touches on a nerve that is a real thing for her. And like they keep kind of coming back into contact, no pun intended, throughout the movie and eventually end up together, whatever.
Right.
But the religious piece is just like, I don't know. He just seemed like he was just really fucking full of himself and then makes a real asshole selfish decision, which is probably the realest thing that his character did was like he was selfish about voting against her and then lied about it. It's like, fuck you, man.
And sort of, and that decision was sort of not based on faith or having no faith, right? So in the sense that like, he did not have
full
faith
shit.
that she would return, and now his heart was, sort of open to her, and it was like, I can't do that because I don't have faith that you'll return. You know what I mean? Which is, in fact, a very selfish decision for sure.
And on top of it, at the end, in classic fashion, she walks out of the, hearing and walks down this like the fucking Lincoln Memorial. It was like a weird, like she walks down like an MLK.
Yeah, it was weird.
A whole crowd of people, but like she walks down from
whole
the
crowd
Capitol.
of people making no noise. By the way,
yeah. She walks out of the Capitol and stands there, and all the reporters are like, and then he has to stand up and be like, "I believe her." It's like, what the fuck does that have to do with you, random guy who Wrote a book?
Fucking cares.
Well, I don't know
one.
about that. I mean, I think it's the inverse of like the whole question in the movie. You know what I mean? Like in the movie, she's like, "What the fuck does religion have to do with any of this bullshit?" You know what I mean? Any of this stuff, like that's just complete nonsense. You know what I mean? That's her sort of angle, right? But the inverse, which happens at the end, which I appreciated, was that he, the man of faith, was
willing to believe.
He
That's
was
not a
like the
stretch
only
for
one,
me.
maybe not the only one.
Yeah.
The guy that
big
believes the guy in the
surprise.
clouds thing is
Big
able to believe
surprise
something
coming
else.
from a fucking human belief machine. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What
It
do you mean by
played
that?
more like he was validating her. I mean, I don't think
Steph.
that's the case, but it played more as he was validating her. She didn't need validation, like I don't know. It played weird to me.
Okay, I get that.
And maybe like what Ben was saying is like it's not hard to believe that he would jump onto another belief set, but it was hard to believe that she would have that conversation where she goes on faith. And I think actually, like if I dig in here, like I'm just being an asshole towards him as a religious person because I am very abrasive to Christianity as I was raised Christian, and I have a lot of hard times with a lot of that shit. So like there's certainly an element of me being defensive maybe personally here, but like it doesn't surprise me that the guy that believes in fucking a dude sitting in a cloud believes her. It's like, okay, you believe something else now. Cool. Good for you, bro. And that's me being an asshole. Whereas her character, who's been science, and then has a revelatory moment that no one believes, the fact that she has her belief system broken, I don't know, it resonates more with me. And I think it's unfair to treat them both separately because in the beginning of the movie, he's having a conversation about he had a revelatory moment where his belief system was broken. So I think a lot of my like my anti-Christian dogma bullshit is getting caught up here, but like, I don't know. It just played differently.
All right,
Well, there's a key difference because what she experienced actually fucking happened.
That's true.
That's just that she was, was just that she was duped. Right.
Yeah.
Like there is actual evidence, even though like, yeah, I mean, 18 hours of static is something for sure.
That's
right?
evidence. Yeah. Maybe not proof. But it's
that's definite evidence. That is, perhaps not hard proof, but it's evidence that she actually was away for that long. So
sure.
And without that scene, it changes the vibe too. Like without any proof, I think that is way more of a like, the director made you wonder or the writer made you wonder. But like, yeah,
sure.
For me, that's
because from the point of the view, right? But from the point of the view of the other people in the film, it is in question, right? The same people that are upset with her, for being, how can you exclude God from this, or how can you exclude religion or spirituality from this? Are the same people like, I don't believe you. You know what I mean? Like there is no proof. Now in the novel, I hate to in the book, but in the book, apparently, as I read in one of the nuggets, there's grains of sand found in the bottom of the pot as well, which is really, that's even bigger than the 18 hours of static. But the 18 hours of static alone, I think, is enough, But I don't know. I get what you're saying. I think I like how they did the inverse, with him saying, yeah, no, I believe her. You know what I mean? Like the guy who was more interested in God than science, I mean, it's sort of a semi-obvious kind of flip-flop, having the one person, not the one person, but the one major person in the movie that's, he's the person of God, not science, saying, no, I believe your story, your scientific story. I don't know. I liked it. I thought that was pretty cool. How they did.
It might be just an attempt to like bring both camps together through the story or whatever. And like, whatever. I'm
maybe. I mean, clearly it's trying to knit those two things together. And it's funny because like, I really, when I first saw this movie with Matthew McConaughey, this is not when I loved Matthew McConaughey. I was just kind of like eye roll, like he's whatever, and I wasn't like offended by any of the sort of religious aspects of his character or anything like that. I just really just didn't love him as an actor back then. You know what I mean? And this was sort of an odd movie for him. Because it's like right smack in the middle of a lot of like these rom-com-y movies that he was doing at the time, aside from maybe Dazed and Confused, which came out not too far before this, And I think that It's funny because I forgot he was in this movie, and I really enjoyed him in this movie. You know, I thought he was good. You know, despite the subject matter not appealing to the two of you, I enjoyed him in this movie, and I thought it was a good movie for him, man. Especially in the middle of all these other movies that he was doing, and it really wouldn't be until many years later that we see him really start to do some, you know, absolutely cracking work. You know, so. I don't know. I enjoyed him.
Yeah,
good. I didn't like him.
It colors Interstellar not any differently, but like it just. I like it when, you know, you've got like what is it, William Hurt here, who plays Peter Thiel or fucking Jeff Bezos or whatever. How he plays Smith in 1984 and then later goes on to be the baddie in V for Vendetta. I kind of like when an actor that you like gets to do something that's not the opposite, but kind of different than, and like he's the man of God here, and you kind of get to experience a little bit of him, how he would, his take on that character, and then you get to see him as Coop and Interstellar, and like they're not connected at all, but like it's just kind of interesting sometimes to see those, and it makes me kind of appreciate the Coop story. Like I prefer the Interstellar version of this story, but this was also pretty solid too.
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities between the two films, I would say. You know, I mean, obviously Interstellar, I think, is probably edges this one out. This one definitely has, going back to what one of you guys said, this has a kind of a, maybe you did need to see it in the 90s. It's got a 90s kind of feel to it.
It's kind of like
that means.
Politics.
The acting, the whole thing.
It's like science versus religion, but it's like science versus religion versus politics too. And like, I just wasn't kind of maybe in the mood for the politics bullshit. You know, it's
what do
like,
you mean, the national security shit?
Yeah, like James Woods. Like, I think like it's just like, fuck you, man. You know, at the end where he's just like a prick throughout, and then at the end he's like
so good
crucifies her in front of the camera, and then he's like, actually, there's evidence. You know,
yeah, right.
It's like fuck you, bro. You know, or Scare It. You know, Scare It. I was watching the movie, and every time Scarrett would come and fuck her, I'd be like, of course, Tom fucking Scarrett's gonna come and fuck. You know, it's like that's like a trope for me now. Like it should be like a meme. Right. Or like Tom Skerritt will come in and take credit for anything good that you fucking do in your life, you know? I don't know, man, you know? Such a bastard. So
feign religiosity to get onto the fucking capsule ahead of you, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You know, like him just lying. And it reminds me like all of the Supreme Court hearing, you know, where people are like, I call balls and strikes. It's like, dude, you're just saying the magic fucking spell to get yourself into a job, and then you can, you know what I mean? It's just like fucking fuck all of you blind sacks of shit, regardless of what setting. Like the amount of grandstanding that happens in the world, I'm just so tired of all the grandstanding, you know, and just be like to be like put through a fictional grandstanding session. It's like I get enough grandstanding in real life, man. Like I don't need any more of this fucking grandstanding. But like I get it.
Enough,
I get it. I don't know.
Right.
And fuck Rob
So
Lowe too.
I'm getting that. I'm getting that a lot of the things in this movie hit too close to home for both of you. It was emotionally upsetting.
I mean, yeah, it did. It did. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like that usually makes for a good movie. I just my patience level for that is different. And in the 90s, I think either through me being naive and younger, or through the world being a little bit different, like pre-Newt Gingrich, or just at the beginning of the Newt Gingrichification of oppositional government, like it's like this is an interesting space to think about and explore. Whereas now it's like cynically looking back, being like, yeah, if you only fucking knew, you know, as I like sit in my bunker, you know what I mean? Like, it's just it just plays differently, you know. There's lots of James Woodses nowadays.
We're a Christian country. It's in the Constitution.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
We're a what country?
Christian country.
Just, you know, that whole sect of you know, people in the Senate and the House that you know, are literally trying to turn us into a Christian ethno state, essentially. Like,
right.
So I don't know. It
trying
feels
to claim
like
that it says in the Constitution that we are, and it is in fact completely the opposite.
Well, it's the
you have the right to believe what you want to believe.
It's the misreading of text, you know, like there's similarities with, you know,
it's radical. It's like complete absence of fucking reading comprehension is what.
No, I know, and like it happens in a lot of different religions as well, or even like fuck, I don't know, like corporate settings or whatever. It's like it's I guess it's the wordsmithery. It's the like propagandization. Like it happened. Even if you just like zoom into like a company, like I don't know, like there are companies that I've worked at where the like things that are said by the people in the company are like, we do this, this, and this, and it's like, no, we don't. You know, like it's like these belief structures that get brought up so that there are different, I don't know, power centers or political centers within a group. Like we are that kind of chimpanzee style, need a power structure and a social structure and the things we say and do to convince ourselves that there is a certain thing, and the people that push in one direction or the other. Like it doesn't even matter whether we're talking about Christian religion or government or whatever. Like it's just it's a thing that I'm finding I'm more frustrated by us as a species, and sometimes you get reminded of it and it's an interesting exploration of that space, and sometimes you get reminded of it and you're like, fuck, I can't watch any, like it's like I can't watch The Handmaid's Tale right now, dude. You know, like I just need to like watch something chill.
Right.
So I don't know.
Sure. Okay.
I don't know. This doesn't go so far into that, you know, like I think it's like just forgetting all of the shit that's not her and her journey here. Like she's the heart of this. Like it's an obvious statement, but she's the heart of this movie, you know, like it's not an enjoyable movie without her character arc, and then Jodie Foster knocking it out of the park is icing on the cake, you know, like she did such a good job.
Yeah, she does, for sure. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of other really powerful characters and actors in this movie that sort of ensemblize it and strengthen the main character, you know? So, I mean, yeah, you're right. She drives it for sure, but the other actors are really fucking strong, and it just makes it even better, in my opinion.
Maybe drives it isn't the phrase. Maybe it's like she's the most interesting bit for me.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Angela Bassett was
she's
absolutely formidable as the, chief of staff of the White House. Like,
shit, even saxophone Sam himself.
It's a really, it's not even a huge role, but it's a really good role for her. She really, really just brings it, man. I really enjoyed her in this. And this was the first movie that this movie, I wouldn't say really introduced me to, but it was right around this time, and this movie was part of it, was introducing me to Bill Fichtner, who plays Kent Clark, the blind, astronomer. And I have become such a huge fan of this guy, and he's, I don't know, sort of an underrated actor. He's done some major movies. I mean, he was in Heat, which came out, I think, the same year as this or the year after that. And then he went on to do tons of other stuff. He did that crazy Mila Jovovich movie that had Nick Chinlund in it, Ultraviolent, and he was really great in that. And then Black Hawk Down and like a million other movies. But anyway, I just love him in this movie, man. I think he's fantastic. I think it was really cool to have a character like that was lacking the ability to see, but, his hearing obviously was enhanced from that, and he obviously plays such a cool major part in deciphering all of this information just through his hearing in this movie. I just think it's so cool. And the way he plays the character, the choices that he makes, what he brings to the table, I think are just really fantastic, man. I just can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah, I love Will Fichtner. He's I don't want to, this isn't derogatory, but he's kind of another one of those, that guy, for a lot of people, a lot of people may not know him, but they've seen him in a bunch of movies, and he's always been really good. And just to go back to Jodie Foster, it's not to take anything away from anybody else's performance, but she's sort of your POV. She's sort of your POV in the movie.
No doubt.
She does a great job of that, especially when it gets to the the sci-fi stuff towards the end there.
Yeah.
Well, and you take in the sci-fi stuff vein, like I think, shout out to Jenna Malone as a young version of the character.
Probably like her first movie, man.
Probably, yeah. But I mean, I've always had a huge amount of respect for Jenna Malone. Like she's great, and then just the character having that innocence destroyed with her father's death, and then the kind of CB radio stuff, like that bonding element. Like, so it's just, there's a lot of like kind of like, I don't know, maybe sappier, more traditional story trope shit in there, but like fine because it sets the stage. And I just like that it, you know, it's her, I don't know, maybe the pain of losing her father. It's implied that the pain of her losing her father makes her a lone wolf all the way up until McConaughey ends up hooking up with her and then says some dumb shit about her father. Like it gets a little bit too close too soon. And she's just like, nah, man, and pulls back, you know, like, so she's kind of like solo, you know, she's very like focused on her work and all of that kind of stuff. And I just like how that threads into she would like to be chosen to go to this civilization and she has no attachments. And then there's like the attachment thing in the middle with like, she's confused with, you know, her feelings about going, and then the whole like, will she, won't she go? And then you end up with like her dad talking to her because the aliens think that that's going to be softening the blow of like interacting with an alien race. So there's like a lot of really interesting stuff from a story perspective that they chose to do with her character that I think that's what I mean by like, that's the most interesting part of the movie, you know?
Right. Yes. I'm with you. Yeah. What did you think of having, you know, the world's greatest caring dad as the sort of avatar of the aliens?
It makes sense, but
Like,
it was pretty sappy.
I didn't really care for it when I was younger, when this movie came out. I like it quite a bit now, though. I thought it was good. It makes sense. I was like, yeah, sure, I get that. You know, kind of ease into it.
I don't see any other scenario that's not animal level terror at encountering another 50 million year old species. You know, you'd just be like,
right.
Fuck, don't fuck this up. You know?
Yeah. There was a couple of things there were some things I picked up too in this that I hadn't picked up in previous watchings. I've definitely seen this many times. You know, this is inhabited some Hey Beastmaster space for a while, you know, and whatnot. So I think, you know, I never really caught or remembered like when she hits that first stop in the wormhole and she looks down on that planet and sees like, you know, an entire civilization. There's like, you know, technology and cities and lights and all that sort of thing. And she's like, oh my God. And then the thing fucking takes off again, you know, and, you know, that kind of stuff I thought was cool. I don't know how I missed that the first time, you know, but it was neat.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of all over the place here now, but like from an effects perspective and I thought that it was really good, you know, for the time, like the things they did with it, you know, it looked really good, looked really realistic.
Yeah, excellent for the time. And again, Jodie Foster really doing a great job of selling the awe, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
Even if the visual effect from modern perspective isn't quite up to the task,
Sure, you buy it.
Still like you buy it. Yeah.
Well, you know, to that end, Ben, I was reading through the extensive "Let's Make Nuggets Not Fun" section there in IMDb, and I never even make it through the whole list, and it was so freaking long. But like one of the things in there that goes along with what you're saying is that this is the first movie that she did with blue screen, right? So, you know, as the technology came in and actors had to start, you know, really imagining things and pretending things with blue screen, right? Because you always had something to work off of if you're doing a film or a stage production or whatever. And
sure,
she really, really struggled with it, and had to have cue cards as well to help her out, which she also had never done. So I think, you know, it sort of doubles down on what you just said. You know, she really, really brings it, man, and sells it beautifully. You know, that whole sequence is, you know, would be really difficult to do, man, for anybody, you know. And
it must have been extremely difficult, but she did it, you know.
She did great
she
with
got
it,
me.
man, you know.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know.
Man.
That going back to the bit with her dad and all that, like that whole sequence has always really hit me emotionally. Like I always get a little teary, like every time that happens, and like even more so on this watching because I think my dad was still alive the last time I watched it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm like, well, fuck. What would I do if I saw my dad? You know? Like,
oh my God, dude,
You know?
100%, man. And I mean, I was feeling this. I was having the same experience just from the other end, right? Because especially the scenes when she's young, you know, my daughter's almost 9. So, you know,
about that age,
I'm the dad, you know what I mean? From my purview and where I was sitting, I was, you know, thinking about it from that angle. And it was, Yeah, it hit me a couple times.
It's probably a good place to say that I just stumbled across the fact that this was the movie she did directly after Nell as well, which like she did amazing work in that one. And it's obviously a very different movie, but it's a testament to just how hard the blue screen stuff would be, you know? Is you come off a movie like that and do this and also hit a home run, like also are quite good in those emotional scenes that are just a blue fucking room. Like it's very, very impressive work. Very impressive.
Right? Really impressive.
And I also love the fact that you are your daughter's David Morse. I like that a lot. You get to be
My daughter. That I get to be David Morse.
Yeah, you're David Morse. You're like,
be the good David Morse.
What do you call him? What do you call him, Ben? The dad that everybody loves, or what did you call him in the beginning?
Yeah,
the dad everybody
like
loves.
most lovable dad ever, or something.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a big. There's a great Stephen King collection of short stories called Hearts in Atlantis that I watched. That I've read, right? And the book is really good. They made a movie out of it, and they didn't really do the story justice in the movie, but he plays the older kid in the movie, and he's like the exact same.
He looks like a middle-aged man,
loving dad, dude. Like I fell in love with him again doing that in that movie too, man.
Every time you've brought up Hearts in Atlantis probably 5 times over the 5 years, and maybe it's like once a year. And every time
I love how you can't remember what we did last week, but you I know,
but you'll say Hearts in Atlantis, and the moment you say Hearts in Atlantis, I go Hearts in Atlantis, Filipino being on a beer. Walking in Memphis,
oh
like I get it's just the way that you say it. It makes me get Walking in Memphis in my head.
My heart's in Atlantis.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I don't know. It's stupid, but there
my feet 10 feet off the ground.
Exactly.
There were mermen everywhere.
Exactly, dude. So I don't know. I got to check that one out. I've never been able to get into Stephen King. Have you guys done a bunch of Stephen King? I actually like cannot get into Stephen King. I've never been able to read one of his books. I can't. I don't know.
I can count it on one hand, dude.
It's nothing against him. I just have never been able to.
No, it's not. But his stuff is weird to read sometimes, man. I have the first, the soft cover pressing of The Gunslinger that had all the really cool illustrations in it, right? And like even when I read that then, I was like, the fuck am I reading, dude? Like I couldn't even wrap my head around it. I think that came out sometime in the 90s. And then the only other one I've gotten was the Hearts in Atlantis collection, which I got, maybe before I left the island. And aside from those short stories, I've just same. Short answer, same.
Probably
Benny?
we should do Hearts in Atlantis at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. It was one of those movies that kind of was a little Hey Beastmaster, and I just sort of watched it a million times and grew to like it a lot. When you read the story, they're really similar, except for like the sort of supernatural parts, which was kind of a bummer. You know what I mean? But if you take the movie on its own, it's like it's a cool, touching story about a kid growing up in Bridgeport, Connecticut, too. So,
hey. With Alec
sort of
Baldwin
brings it a little closer to home. No, Alec, now you're making me think of Alec Baldwin as the dad in Hearts in Atlantis.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be funny.
This is a death. What's the kid's douchebag? What's the kid?
Dildo?
What does he call his kid?
Dildo. You're
dildo.
dead,
Fuck nuts.
Piece of
That's
shit.
death. That's a death. That's a dildo death.
That is death. That is death.
Hey, dildo.
That's a funny movie, man.
Hey, dildo, and you don't know. It's for not getting your neck broke by me.
That's really one of my. I've only seen the
I was
movie
thinking
once
about
for
you
the
the
show,
other day,
but that's
Benny.
one of
I
my
was walking
favorite
around
Alec Baldwins,
saying that.
man. God damn, that's a good
It
Alec
is
Baldwin.
gotta be, yeah. It's up there in my all-time top Alec Baldwin roles. So
That's
damn good, dude.
I think it's a bit of a hard left, but
Go for it.
I really liked how real the movie felt because of the Clinton footage and all the news anchors and stuff. And it was interesting to read that after this movie came out, CNN put out a policy where they would not allow for that level of fakery to happen again. Which, I don't know. I just it really made it a harder feeling sci-fi flick. Like it just felt like quite
Definitely,
real.
man. Oh my God. It totally brought it right into the here and now. And I think that I'm so glad you brought that up actually, because it's easy to kind of just, dismiss that as like kind of, uh, not exactly background material, but
like table dressing or something.
So well, kind of like the foundation for some of the scenes and some of the topics and stuff. But like, it really does make a big difference and play a huge part in it, man. And just to bust out another early nugget, Zemeckis, that all that stuff, that footage was taken when Clinton was talking about, whatever we were going to do back then, start kind to try to think about going to Mars. Yeah, exactly. And he said he was watching it and he was just like, oh my God, this is perfect. This was written for my movie, man, and he was able to just like pluck it and use it perfectly. It's like, my God, dude, as a filmmaker, it's like gold, man. It's such a cool, exciting thing to be like watching that in real time and being like,
can I nugget your nugget?
I can, yeah. Can I nugget your nugget?
Can I nugget?
You sunk my battleship. Go ahead.
You'll never guess. I actually don't know what her name is, but you'll never guess who the president of the United States was supposed to be. There was somebody that was going to be, the Shadout Mapes from Lynch's Dune was going to play the president, I think, at one stage.
Really?
That random ass, like, wrinkly raisin lady.
Wrinkly raisin lady. So you got, if a man gets older, he turns into an old gym bag.
Well,
and then if a woman gets older, she turns into a wrinkly raisin lady.
Sometimes a human plays a role in a movie, and it's the only thing I know them from, and that human only exists as that person in that scene with that
we
costume
understand
and
that.
makeup.
Everybody
and like walks
listening
the streets of Hollywood looking like that. You know what I mean? Like, so it's clearly my problem. It's got nothing to do with the person.
That's like everybody's experienced that.
That scene
you think she just walks around as the Shadow Mapes? Yeah, right.
Screaming,
okay.
just like right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yep.
Grandpapa.
Exactly. So shout out to the Shadout Mapes.
Okay, Shadout Mapes. That would be Linda Hunt. Good stuff.
Can we talk about Peter Thiel, Jeff Bezos?
Sure.
I like John Hurt, and I loved how weird and like esoteric this dude was. He's like, "Welcome to my home." It's like, you live on an airplane. He's like, I like moving around, and then he's on the space station.
I don't really get the whole Bezos thing, except for the fact that he was bald and he had a lot of money.
Well, it's just like rich billionaire guy, like the behind the scenes puppet master shit.
Billionaire tech guy. Yeah.
I dig the trillionaire tech behind the scenes puppet master guy, and I like that he was on her side. It was cool. I dug it. I always dug it. I dug it when I saw it in the 90s, and I dug it when I saw it this week. I just like that, man. It's just cool, to like be like absolutely getting your ass handed to you left and right, and like every other one is by David Drumlin, who's like, fucking scare it with his fucking mouth and his mustache. No, like he's just like, whatever, man. And to have this like billionaire guy come in and be like, hey, guess what? I gave you all this money for funding. And like, now I'm dealing you back in, kid. It's like, you're like, yes, dude, because you're totally rooting for Ellie, man. It's so great. I love it. And I love John Hurt, dude. It's like, who better to play a, sort of quasi creepy, sort of dying of cancer guy who lives his life in a jumbo jet. Like, it's so cool, dude. I dig it. I'm here for it.
No doubt. I kind of want like to live in a world where this character is not bald Jeff Bezos in an airplane, but it's Don from Kids in the Hall, because he's like on the, in the
right.
Well, it's like the scene where he's introduced through the camera lens. I just really like that one, where she's just sitting in front of a bunch of suits being like, fuck you guys. Like, I'm trying to do some science here, and you see Dawn on the other side of the camera being like, no, we're definitely going to give her some money. Yeah,
right. So you want to go, you want to travel through the wormhole. What's positive about that?
Fuck it, man. I don't know. I loved him. He was just he was the silliest part, and I still bought into it for some reason. I still totally was buying what he was selling.
I was loving that, dude. It's just great, dude.
With his horribly shaved head. I enjoyed that choice too.
I don't know if that was shaved or if it was like a bald.
It was shaved. Dude. Yeah,
Was
you can
it?
see.
No,
There's like
was
some
it?
little stubble coming
There's a
in.
little peach fuzz on there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. I liked it. I guess the most like super ridiculous
His
part,
glasses are really the thing that
Yeah.
sets it off.
but I don't know, the thing that the one thing that he did that I was just like, holy, come on, dude, was when she was like walks into her like hotel room and there's like, you know, weird satellite dish and all this bullshit set up in her room. She fucking, you know, initiates the call and he's
Press
like,
any key.
I'm on the space station Mir, and the Soviet government was kind enough to grant me some space here for a couple of days, you know, or whatever.
But the best part about that was he says all that, and then he's like, thanks for calling me. It's like, well, I couldn't go to sleep because I had a giant ass big screen TV in my bed that said touch any key. Like, I was gonna call you, man.
Right? And you notice how they like put the TV in between, like on two chairs? Like they didn't put it on any of the furniture, but it was on two chairs. It was like,
makes total sense.
I mean, if you're like, if you have that much money, couldn't you have just brought like a table for the chair? I mean, for the TV to go on, like, you know,
a tactical table, a black one that comes in a Pelican case,
high tech portable satellite communicator. We got a nearly flat screen TV, right? In a world of CRTs, like there were so massive CRTs.
You
right?
see that TV in the theater, and you're like, what is that TV, and why do I not have one?
Exactly right. And that was when they were like, you know, they still were kind of bulgy on the back. Like now you can like put your finger,
no doubt,
on either side of a TV, and it's about like that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's funny. I totally didn't even consider that. How
Right?
cool that TV would have been. I would have been so hung up on that fucking TV. That's all I would have talked about coming out of that theater.
I think a table was in the instructions for his assistants who set that up.
That they fucked up
to include, but they pocketed the money instead.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
They went out for beers instead. There you go.
Exactly.
Like
they finally stole his money because he's up on the space station. He's not coming back. They're like, fuck it, man. Let's take it while we can.
Dude. Let's take the money and run, brother.
It's like, Ellie, is this stuff set up on a table?
Oh, here we go.
No, actually, it's on like two chairs. I'll have a word with my people.
Specifically said northwest facing on a table.
Yeah. Last week it was terrible Willis impressions. This week Ben and I are going to entertain everybody with terrible John Hurt.
That reminds me of I was talking last night about Penske. Remember Penske built that house on the island, and I imagine you guys have heard the story where like he would fly over the job site in his jet on the way in, and if all the cars weren't parked in the same orientation, he would call the job site guy and fucking yell at him and stuff. It's like,
I heard that.
It reminds me of that kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know? That's the table. Fucking rich guys.
That's great. It was cool to see. I hadn't really thought about this till right now, but like we get a smattering, kind of like a timeline of technology throughout this movie that's kind of interesting, right? Because we start the movie with like the ham radio stuff, which is cool, man. You know, I really like that segment, and I forgot how long the segment was, including the flashbacks that we get later between her and her dad. You know, when she was a little girl, the ones that got me all choked up, and you know, we start with the ham radio. And then later on, when she's in Puerto Rico, we get a nice rotary phone, you know, sort of tabletop, desktop rotary phone. And then, you know, we get the CRT TVs and all the weird...
The bleep bloops.
Sort of bleep bloops that are in the VLA. And then, you know, we see that one flat screen TV and you're just kind of like, whoa, you know. And then we get the machine arrays, like this, you know, sort of ultimate futuristic technology. So it's like kind of a interesting... sort of timeline of tech.
Yeah, totally.
With humans.
And it culminates in the cool machine too, the giant fucking ring with
the translucent walls and the pod and shit, you know, so wild.
When you mentioned the it's probably I want to talk about the literal opening of the movie, but now's not the time. There was some serious bleep blooposity in this, and I'm here for the bleep bloops, dude. All of Haddon's tech, like the little Pelican case shit and like the TV, all that kind of stuff. And even just like all the science gear they have in the lab. They're like, dude, do you hear that? You know, like there's like the suit in the corner. Like, yeah, I hear it. Do you hear it? Yeah, it's 74 megahertz frequency interlaced. Can you click the button? He's like, hang on, I'm on it. And it's like video de-interlaced. Dude, you have it. Is that what is that? Rotate 180 degrees. You know, it's like really, I don't know. I really enjoyed the problem solving stuff there.
They really nailed. Go ahead, Ben.
I was just going to say, I was really there for all the like Windows 95.
Yeah,
Totally,
dude. Fuck yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And
all the
like,
check boxes.
Yeah. And for me, it was like the giant CRT TVs, man, the monitors and shit that were like, you know, they're like
Yeah.
a foot and a half. They go back like a foot and a half, you know, and like.
Well, and it was like, that's not an odd. It's like, do you hear that? And it was kind of like, do you hear that? Yes. What is it? That's not an audio signal. That's video. It's like, I hear the video. Go get a video. Plug it into the Fargen. You're like,
Right,
okay.
right.
Like,
The Fergen.
Well, that was Fitchner engaging his Daredevil hearing powers.
A Daredevil like hearing ability, yeah, 100%. And like, and
give me the SCSI cable, plug it into my SDI port.
Right, but you were like, you were right about Fish. It was like every time they were like, dude, can you like clean it up? You would see like the mouse hover over, and there would be like two options: one to do exactly what he needed to do, and the other one was
clean up the alien video, and the other
the other one was like, the other one was like, the other was like, don't clean it up. You know, it was like, it was so funny, and they kept doing that.
Dude, my actual favorite is there's a scene I kind of want to like go and like deep dive, but there's a scene in that scene. He's like, can you change? He's like, can you zoom in? And it like cuts to a zoom slider and it says 3 and it's like he clicks and drags it to 2. You know? It's like, dude, 6 zoom. You know, it's like so great, man. I hadn't even like really put 2 and 2 together, the Windows 95osity of those windows, but that was great, man.
I missed that shit, sort of.
It's like, we just got a call. It's like, what's up? Well, they're going to cancel our funding in like 3 months. Hey, wait a minute. What's that sound? You know?
Yeah, I know.
They call it. It's just fucking great. I love that.
Kent was like, Kent was freaking out, man. He was like, it's over. Ellie, it's over. And then she's like, oh, what? Okay. Drives out to the satellite to pout and listen to the freaking, you know, the noise from space, you know, on her gigantic laptop, right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden,
we're having
we get
numbers.
That noise. She's like,
isolated.
Yeah, we were having a good laugh at like the, you know, trying to build the tension of scientists, like, you know, trying to ratchet up the tension in the movie where it's like, you know, okay, well, so I guess, oh, cool, sweet, I'll be right up. Like, let's have a look. You know,
well, and then later on, she's like,
everybody get this ready, go hook up the stereo, and don't, you know.
Right.
Well, the guy was like, how did, you know, like, and they just sent it to us. He's like, nah, the signal's been there for 26 years. It's like she would have stumbled across the signal, or they would have stumbled. I mean, like, oh yeah, that sounds like a signal. Oh, hang on,
it was
a coffee. I'll be right there.
Unscientist question ever. Like, you know, it's like Vega's 26 light years away. We didn't pick it up before because it fucking took 26 years for it to get here.
Exactly. It's so funny. And maybe like on that's probably a good segue. I think for me as a freshie viewer, the best part of the movie for me was the opening. That was inspired by that, Powers of 10 kind of zoom out. So it's like zooming out. And what I liked most about that sequence was that it starts with, you know, All-Star by fucking Smash Mouth or whatever the fuck, like 90s music. And then as you get further away, the music gets older and older and older, and it gets all the way back to the beginning. I really liked that kind
was
of
cool.
Reversing time kind of scene. Like that was really cool.
That was cool.
It kind of sets the stage, or at least it provides some scale, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, no, I think it's great.
They did the same thing with the TV segments as well. You know what I mean? Like not in the sense that they zoomed out, but the TV sequences kind of go in that order. If I read the nugget,
yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? It starts off with like the current thing, and then it goes back to the first broadcast that went into space, which was the Hitler. You know,
I liked the Hitler decoding thing because I was a first time viewer, so I was like, okay, what is this signal? Oh, they split the signal. Okay, and then it was like, that looks like a swastika, and then it was like, oh no, that is a swastika. Okay,
yeah, totally. Yeah, it was weird. I remember thinking how weird that was when I saw it.
And then just that the movie nugget itself of saying that Hitler Olympics broadcast was the first broadcast of that power to go into space. Like, that's interesting.
It is crazy. I don't think I knew that
crazy.
until I saw the movie originally.
And can maybe just for a moment comment on how funny I found it with the protesters being like, Hitler's living on Vega. You know, it's just like it's like fucking Nazi dudes with signs. Okay, guys.
The whole schmear of weirdos at the observatory when they all show up is fantastic.
Yeah.
Including those people, man, you know.
Including Busey.
And I forgot about Busey, man, but like the nugget on
those teeth.
The nugget on the people was that Zemeckis called for extras for, you know, to be like UFO enthusiasts. Like, that was all he said. Like, that
makes sense.
Well, what was cool, I thought, was that they all brought all that shit, all their own like signs, costumes, all that weird shit. All the people that came to be extras brought all that stuff. He didn't know they were bringing it. Because his direction was super simple. So I really
love that.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's when you get like a good crew, you know, good crew to find the people, find the sets and all that kind of stuff. Find the whatever locations.
What was your favorite, Ben? You were going to say?
Yeah, the Elvis impersonator that's like Viva Las Vegas.
I missed that.
Or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah,
dude, on the cardboard guitar. Totally.
I love that. Busey was interesting because you see him in the beginning in that scene, and obviously because of our obsession with Jake Busey, it was like, oh, that's Jake Busey. Well, clearly something's going to happen there. And I kind of liked it was kind of a clever way to tie the Scarrett thread up. Like, he's such a prick bastard son of a bitch that, like, having them not come to a head, having her not be like, fuck you, you dickhead.
Right.
And then having him, you know,
blow the thing up,
die nobly or whatever is interesting. Like, I don't know if I like the fact that the prick, you know, is a hero because he was a prick, but it was interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The guy in the control room kind of sums up Drumlin the best, you know, when he's like, back where I come from, we call that an overcooked ham, you know, like that's exactly what the guy is, man, you know, like loves being on camera, loves the sound of his own voice, blah, 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 you know. So I don't know. I thought that kind of summed Drumlin up. I mean, I don't know really how, I don't know if I really had an opinion about that one way or the other. I don't know. You guys seem to hate him a lot more than I did. I mean, he definitely played a hateable character. There's no question about it, but I don't know.
Bastard.
I know he was, but I don't know. He was kind of amusing to me, and he's also Scarrett, you know, with a mustache. So I was like, yo.
I love me some Scarrett.
I don't think I ever saw Scarrett without a mustache.
I don't think I have either.
But
I feel like Scarrett's stash is
part of his face, like literally.
Have we ever talked about Scarrett in the pantheon of Hall of Fame mustaches? Because it's got to be in there.
Oh yeah, he's been brought up before. He must have.
He has to.
It's not a mustache; it's a birthmark.
Right. It's a birthmark that's in the shape of a mustache. Right.
Oh, what is this?
What is what?
Changing Hearts, 2002. There's a photo of him with Faye Dunaway, and I'm pretty sure that is a non-mustached Tom Skerritt, and it's kind of freaking me out.
Holy shit, dude. He's still alive and making movies. He was born in 1933. Holy shit.
Oh.
Well, he just did a movie called Broke in 2025. It's a Western. Oh, with Dennis Quaid? Oh, I'll see that, man. With Wyatt Russell, Kurt Russell's kid. Wow, okay. Yeah, I'll watch that shit.
Nice.
Damn, dude.
Cool.
I keep sending Umberto the messages that I'm trying to send to you guys. Like, I'm in the wrong thread. So I just, like, sent him a picture of Tom Skerritt without a mustache with zero context.
Nice, dude. That's perfect.
Oomba. I mean, that's him, right? Like, it's such a strange looking human that I don't know if I believe that it's him.
What do you mean, Tom Skerritt?
Yeah.
I think
that freaks me out. I'm pretty
Wait.
sure that's him.
What's freaking you out? That he doesn't have a
Because I'm
stash?
Without a mustache.
Oh, I got you.
That he doesn't look like Tom Skerritt because
Holy
he doesn't have a mustache.
shit. I know. I'm looking at like a young photo of him from an old movie, and it's like I can barely recognize him. But he does have a stash, dude.
Yeah, on occasion he's without a stash.
Oh shit, you're right. He doesn't have a stash in that one, and he kind of looks like
what's
if
this
Martin. I don't know what this movie is, but oh wait, it's Faye Dunaway, Changing Hearts. Yeah, you're right, Chad. You know what he looks like in this picture from this angle? He looks like if Martin Sheen and James Woods had a kid. It would be
Yeah?
yeah. That's what he looks like with that
Oh,
with
no.
Faye Dunaway. Yeah, yeah. Oh no is right.
The Time Tunnel. What's up,
Time Tunnel. Christopher Lloyd. Lloyd. Lloyd.
He was in the MASH movie and he had no mustache.
I was just going to say, like, I'm looking at some MASH. Very, very deep diving here on Tom Skerritt's mustache. But, okay. He has a legendary mustache. We love it.
Yeah, I mean, it is legendary, dude. It's part of his freaking face. I mean, as Ben said, the guy doesn't have a mustache. He's got a birthmark, dude. You know, like some guys just like they got a stash and that's it. And you know, like Tom Selleck's kind of one of those people. Sam Elliott is definitely one of those people. Brimley, definitely one of those people. I can only think of one example for Elliott and Brimley where there was a film where they didn't have a mustache. Brimley's was in The Thing, maybe one other, I don't know. But, you know.
Oh, Elliot. Has he ever not had one?
Who?
Elliot.
Sam Elliott, yeah. He didn't have a mustache, and I cannot remember what it is off the top of my head.
Dude, Skerritt's 92 years old.
Dude, that is crazy. And he just did a movie this year. Well, it was released this year. What's so funny, dude? I can hear Ben sniggering in the background.
I'm just cracking up at Bruce Beans. He finally came in.
Oh, nice. Let's see. He did a TV
I don't
series.
know. I feel like it's a healthy homage to Skerritt's stash. Like, it was the most likable part of his character in this one.
Yes.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, motherfucker.
Tom Skerritt is now the guy that takes credit for everything in my life. That is now a trope.
Takes care of
as I
everything.
come 30 years late to this movie.
Okay, next topic.
Well, let's bits and bobs then.
Well, because I know there's going to be something we forget because there's a lot of material here. Oh, I wanted to talk. I talked about this in the opening. I really, really liked the pacing of this movie. Right? I mean, just to talk sort of technically for a second. Like, I sat down to watch it, and then at one point I checked like the time bar on it, and I was like, "Wow, this is 2.5 hours." Like, it fucking flew by, dude. Like, I mean, it just moves along. It's such a nice clip. And I mean, this is really complimentary towards the staff and the director is that it's beautifully paced. And when I say that, I mean that the pacing is nice and they sort of cover enough in each part, each section and each scene that they feel complete, and I feel like I've gotten enough information out of them. Like I never felt like, oh, the scene is so unnecessary. You know what I mean? Like all the parts that they put in there, like I was just like, you know, it was all relevant and on topic. And I mean that really just kind of speaks to Bob Zemeckis as a director. Like the guy is just so good, dude. I mean, we've done many movies.
That's like Forrest Gump. It covers like the fucking history of the goddamn universe. Like,
exactly. Very
so much
great.
stuff.
Yeah. Great comparison, man. Like he just really knocks it out of the park with the pacing in this movie, man. And just every choice in the editing is just perfect, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, I haven't read the novel, but you know, I know Carl Sagan worked on the movie with them, and I'm sure that it's actually pretty.
Well, started as a movie.
Yeah, right. It started as a treatment for a movie. Then he wrote the novel. Then it became a movie again, right?
But yeah, which is kind of interesting.
Aside from some small differences that were mentioned in the "Let's Make Nuggets Not Fun" section, it seems pretty close to the book. One, just to kind of segue on that, like one of the differences was that S.R. Haddon was 50 and not dying of cancer, but in perfect health. And his whole thing was like he wanted to be frozen and then found in the future so he could become immortal, which I thought was
okay. Walt Disney, whatever,
weird and interesting. Yeah.
Yes.
He's
Going to have my
I
head
love him.
frozen.
Tech billionaire creeper dude. Fucking great. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess there was a few different script versions, and they wanted like aliens to come down and put on a fucking Pink Floyd laser light show at the end of the movie to like take away from the did they didn't they ness of the movie. So I don't know. It sounded like the book was sounded like this was better than the book, to be honest. I kind of feel like this treatment was good.
I thought it was, man. I really enjoyed this.
I'm sure I'll check out the book someday. Maybe, I don't know. It's probably not that long.
Maybe not.
Maybe. I kind of wish I could go back in time and watch this in the 90s, though. Like, it was fun making out with my girlfriend, but I feel like I definitely missed
You did, dude.
the,
You really
the
did.
importance of it. As a sci-fi lover, too,
missed-
you know, it's kind of no excuse.
You missed a moment.
Yeah, you did
I
miss
did.
a moment.
You could have at least paid a little bit of attention.
Yeah, Chad.
I mean, I was sorry.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, Chad.
You were a horn
Yeah.
dog. Yeah, I like the whole. I like the idea that like there is like a galactic civilization out there,
Totally.
and there are, all these different aliens, and like there is a way for like making first contact, and
Yes.
going slow is the way.
Yes. I enjoyed all of
That,
that lore.
That's just the first step. Like, I wouldn't want somebody to do like a fan fiction or like a Brian Herbert sequel to this, but like
Fuck you, Brian Herbert.
I'd be interested to like if Carl had lived long enough, like what that process would look
Yeah.
like, like what the next step would be, like, how many years would it be, and like what would
It would have been cool to
agree.
see. There definitely was like a lot of, in my mind anyway, a lot of material to make a great sequel out of this, or just sort of kind of continue the story and like do step 2 or whatever, which I dug a lot.
I'm trying to remember. There's
Yeah.
definitely been some sci-fi books, at least, that have done some of that. I just can't think of any of them. I suppose the most obvious example would be The Expanse, but
What do you mean, like?
just like first contact scenario.
yeah,
sort of
have
a thing.
covered that kind of galactic
Yeah.
civilization thing.
No, I just meant that. Well, whatever.
Yeah, there's been plenty of that,
Yeah.
but I'm curious about this specific
This
thing.
one, yeah.
Like where they have like the sort of like the wormhole highway is already set up, but the civilization that did it is like been gone for
Yes,
billions of
totally.
years.
I
and,
love
like,
that, dude. I absolutely love that,
like
man.
just all that stuff like is compelling, and
Yeah, super
it'd
compelling.
be interesting to know. I mean, again, like whatever anybody would make up would be like, that sucks. That's fucking
Yeah.
terrible.
Like you said, Brian Herbert, like it couldn't do it. Yeah.
Like whatever's in your mind is better somehow,
Yeah.
than anything anybody could come up with.
Yeah, but I liked it.
I think if the right person took a stab at it, it would be interesting to,
See, you mean to see a continuation of the story?
yeah, or just have a deeper dive into that.
Yeah,
lore,
100%. It would be cool to do like a sequel where we kind of, explore the whole, because I like the whole faith versus, science argument in the movie, and it would have been cool to see that kind of play out more and see what happens to Ellie, but then also see like, more steps taken, essentially. Like,
Just to sit down and like, if you could sit down and talk to Carl Sagan about it and be like, so like, tell me more about that.
yeah, right.
Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
Like, like just kind of get some like big picture sort of broad strokes from it would be cool.
Yeah.
I think the next step in this billion-year-old process for assimilating is they bring all of the government fuck knuckles to the galactic time central station, and then they are like, yeah, actually, this is our galactic religion, and your one isn't real. So like, you're going to alien hell. So like, fuck you guys. That's what it would be. It would be this. It would be the broader. We win, you lose.
Sure.
Space Christians.
Government fuck knuckles.
Fuck you, Rob Lowe. He was so good in that 4-second scene.
Well, just to be clear, he was not a government fuck knuckle. He was like he was the president of
House
the
rep,
Christian.
wasn't he?
No, he was the president of the Christian conservative movement. I just thought Rob Lowe did a good job of playing that type of person. Like
He did,
from
yeah.
from that era, right? And I think furthermore, in the scope of the whole story, I liked that they had that part in there. You know, like to Ben's point from before, they really should have had all. You know, and I don't know what the book is like. Maybe the book is different, but
Had all? What do you mean all?
all
multiple
different religions.
Yeah.
You know, it's like to have
Yeah.
a kind of like a guy who's occupying the space of like, you know, I guess kind of a spiritualist like Palmer Joss is, right? And then to have Rank being like, you know, the kind of Christian sort of rep guy, you know, and then you just have a bunch of other random people that are just like, yeah, I believe in God. You know, it's like it would have been better to have like multiple things represented. Sorry, multiple religious sects or beliefs represented, right?
Yeah.
Up to and including atheists, man, you know, and that type of thing. I mean, the more I think about it, right, it would have made like the movie longer, obviously, but it would have been cool space to explore.
Yeah.
It would have made the movie like it would have been cool space to explore in the scope of the movie, right? Like if you're really going to lean in on a whole like faith versus science kind of story, right, and debate in a movie.
Yeah.
Yes, those things absolutely should have been included. And it would have been cool to lean into it and, you know, kind of see where that went a little bit more. Because it's, you know, it's a great topic.
It's not science versus religion or whatever. It's America's reaction to discovering alien species. You know, it's like the sharp-elbowed lobbyist gets into the White House and changes minds, and the sharp-elbowed Scarrett takes credit, and it just doesn't leave any room for the conversation to be broader, to your point. You know?
Right, and it is very, like, kind of American. And
it's how it would go in America, right?
It is.
Like, we don't have
certainly in the 90s, yeah.
you know, Muslim lobbyists.
Yeah.
Really. Not that there aren't, you know, people that practice that religion here. There are, but
Sure. It's not the power center in the 90s,
Pretty
and
much.
maybe not now. Yeah.
But it would have been cool to have all that.
It is
like
pretty
multiple different things. You know, I mean,
well,
yeah,
if religion actually mattered to them, that would be the thing, right?
Right.
But it's obviously hypocrisy, so that's not the point. It's like, you know, we need a religious point of view, but it's got to be a Christian.
Mm.
You know, like,
Well, it's just the power center stuff. It's the lobbyist angle, you know, like clearly Rob
yeah,
Lowe
no,
represents the largest power block in that space. And
Sure.
maybe it's like, maybe really what the corner they painted themselves into here is like there's not a lot of opportunity to explore that stuff because of the use of Clinton's other footage. Like, I feel like if there's a president character played by an actor, maybe there's more room for the conversation to be broader than just some random dude in a cabinet meeting. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe not, but
yeah,
sure.
I don't know. I kind of like that they didn't go too far into the religious thing, but I totally see what you're saying. It'd be interesting to explore the space too. I want to say I feel like Arrival is a version of that approach. Like, it's not religious, but it
we
is
talking about
interesting that it's like Jodie
Renner
Foster.
movie?
Yeah. Jodie Foster. It doesn't make any sense that Jodie Foster is chosen to go. Like,
Why?
just because she discovered the signal doesn't mean that she's fucking front in line to go. For the purposes of this particular story and this particular movie, it is the point that she has that arc and has that moment in the Senate hearing or
Sure.
whatever, where she says that she wants you to believe her on faith. Like, it is the point of the movie. But like, the equivalent is like some random long-haired nerd burger with a trucker hat picks up a signal in a place, and then he's the guy that humanity sends because he heard the signal. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And so Arrival is kind of a movie where like there is contact and we have to figure out how to communicate, and like the government's involved and they get this linguist to go along with some other people, and then her figuring out the linguistic stuff is kind of like probably a more realistic approach to how it actually would dope out. I don't know. I feel like all the other groups and mobs and approaches would probably just bounce off of the interaction, because like you need to decrypt a fucking language, you know, like they had that little like, if you fold it into a cube, it gives the secret.
Right,
here,
but she
you know,
did
it was-
discover that, to be fair to her. Like, she did discover that.
Sure.
And I did
but
like
it's because
that,
of the bleep looposity of the story. Like, they have to power through it, to your pacing comment, you know, like
sure.
it would be a broader coalition of people doing this work over years in any sort of realistic situation.
Oh, well, yeah, sure, of course. And I mean, you know, the whole idea of like the language being, you know, science-based, math-based rather, not
Or
science-based,
math, which makes sense.
math-based, right? Because that's sort of universal in the primes,
Fundamental.
and the primer, and on that whole thing. Like, I liked all that stuff. Like, that all made
Yeah.
really good, simple, scientific sense to me, anyway. Like the way they laid it out. So,
Yeah.
you know, I definitely thought, like, yeah, I get what you're saying about Arrival. It's a great movie too. Like, really, great.
Sure. And I got nothing against her being the one that goes. Like, it makes sense for her in the story. Like, it's just interesting. Like, it's yeah. Maybe it just means that it's not really an alien story. It's a story about her as a human finding her ability to have faith in.
Well, it's weird because it's
her
kind
experience,
of
you know?
that's what the story is, and then that's kind of not what the story is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, I mean, like, you know, we're POVing through her, you know, and it's like her struggle with faith, whatever, her dad died, there's all that, and then there's all these other elements as well, you know, larger sort of questions. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess it's like it's a character study on her through the lens of a giant sci-fi movie. You know, like it's like okay,
yeah. Well, whatever. I mean, you know, it's, I don't know. I think that's what makes it cool. All this stuff is what makes the movie cool. You know, it's all these different things.
You could kind of say the same thing about Coop in Interstellar. It's essentially a character study on him. You know.
Yes.
But that's kind of, yeah, we're getting esoteric. Any bitsy bobsy stuff? The ringy thing is cool.
What, the machine?
Yeah.
The machine's
Suicide bombery bit. Like version 1. It's like the 2 Death Stars. Like the first Death Star got blown up by Busey. Like that was kind of interesting. And the machine's cool. And
I like
the
the
second
machine.
Death Star when like she's looking through everything and is all freaking out and they're losing the radio.
Yeah.
Like there's some cool shit in there.
I like the machine, and I like the whole idea of how it works, the way they lay it out in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, putting aside a second the whole, like, do you believe me? I really went thing. Like, I do believe.
you
because
believe?
We see it, right? And I like how she does the whole journey, has the 5-minute conversation, and then she's back instantaneously because the technology is so strong. Like, that's how I interpreted it anyway. And I really thought that was pretty impressive and cool.
Yeah, for sure.
For a bit. Or a Bob.
Or Bob. Well, having not seen it, I just didn't know where it was going to go. You know,
Sure,
like
of
I
course.
kind of thought it was going to go Interstellar, where she would come back and everybody would be dead. You know, like I don't know.
Right. Time dilation.
I just didn't know what else they would do. So it's kind of clever that it was like you didn't actually leave, and we don't actually believe you. It's like, oh, interesting.
I'm just trying to think of other bits and bobs. I did enjoy the explosion of the first machine at Cape Canaveral quite a bit. Like, it was
Came apart like a mofo.
It was like, holy shit. And like, you know, there was a zillion fucking people on the beach, you know, and there's like just huge chunks of shit flying right at them. Like, it was pretty crazy. I like that.
It kind of reminded me of like an out of control, you know, NASCAR crash where the shit goes in the stands. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Realistic,
totally.
to it.
Yeah, very much so.
That's probably about it. Nugs.
Let me think. Hold on one second, man.
You got any other bits, Benny?
No.
Well, nugs. Nugs, not drugs.
No, that's it. Yeah, that's all I got.
Word.
Nuggets. There was,
It's a billion of them.
my God, there's so many. And I dropped a few during the course. The only other one that I would add, which would be no surprise, a casting nugget, is that Uma Thurman and Gillian Anderson were both considered for this part, which I think are interesting choices. I think Gillian Anderson would have been interesting to see, but I don't know if
I love
Uma
me
would
some
have.
Gillian Anderson.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if Uma really would have been quite right for the part, but
No.
at any rate, I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, totally. The only nug, I mean, there's a million nugs, but there was a nug that I thought was quite interesting, which is the design for the ring thing was taken from the cutting room floor for a scene from T2.
Yes, and yes, that was another good one. And then also the same technology of the rotating rings was used in Event Horizon, which came out 35 days after this.
Yeah, I haven't watched that in a long time. We've talked about that from time to time here.
I know I keep not watching it because it's really kind of freaky.
Okay.
It is. It's like it's cool. It's sci-fi, but it just like it gets freaking dark, dude. You know?
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Deaths then?
Only had one. That would be your dildo death, dildo.
Nah. Okay. Well, in a Nuggety Bob change of topic, I just want to shout out the canceling of The Late Show and how fucking lame that is.
Yeah, I don't really understand that.
Just kind of a bummer. End of an era, you know. David Letterman's old show is now gone. It's just kind of it kind of ties into the cultural moment of the 90s osity of this movie too. So
it's Colbert too, man. You know, like
old TV is dead.
Yeah, I guess it is.
It's a bummer.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're right.
Don't have anything else to say other than shout out to old Colbert, man. I love me some Colbert. I don't even watch the show, but I love it.
I've seen
That's
it.
probably the problem.
Yeah. Recommendations.
Yeah,
Chad,
I mean, it's a solid,
you go first. You just
movie.
saw this.
Yeah, I have to. I have to recommend it. I have no choice but to recommend it. If you like sci-fi, you'll like this movie, and I'm the only one who's hearing my voice right now that hasn't seen it. So,
right,
that hadn't seen it. You know, everyone's seen this movie.
Agree, Benny. Would you recommend?
Yes, of course.
As would I. This is it should be. It's. I don't know. It belongs in any sci-fi pantheon. I think it's good. Kind of takes place in like current day, and it's got some really cool elements to it, man. Definitely a watch, and it holds up beautifully, I thought. So yeah, I recommend.
Roger Dodger.
All right, Slab, lay it on us. What's happening next week?
So there's a little bit of a back and forth with old Carl. So longtime listener, first time guest, Carl Aguilar will be joining us next week. We gave him a pick. And originally it was a Sidney Poitier Shoot to Kill detective-y, but he has since revised to 1985's Silverado.
Really?
With Kevin Kline.
Cool.
Yeah. Kevin Costner. Scott Glenn. Danny Glover.
Yeah, man.
John fucking Cleese.
Right?
Should be fun. Looking forward to it. So that'll be next week. And then it sounds like we might be doing old Soupy Doopy because I got to go see that Superman movie. Or maybe we won't do Soupy Doo because we would rather just enjoy it instead of dissect it. But that's it. Silverado it is.
Well, that sounds exciting. So we'll be looking forward to that. Silverado with Carl. And as always, thank you for joining us for Contact. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
And that's going to wrap up this week's episode, folks. If you'd like to check out the show notes for this episode, you can do so in your podcast app of choice or our website, ebd.fm/episodes/312.
Neighbor of the 311.
That's right. Neighbor of the Amber. If you would like to support the show, there's a number of great ways you can do it. We are grateful, as always, to everybody that has supported us thus far, either by listening or contributing through Patreon or talking about the show or rating us and reviewing us. And if you're new and you want to help out, those are the best ways that you can help us out. So please, we encourage you to do so, and thank you for listening. If you'd like to join us on social, you can do so on Instagram at EBD Podcast. And that's it. From all of us to all of you. Thanks for joining us for Contact. We'll see you next week for Silverado with special guest Carl Aguilar. So long for now, folks.
One for C-Lab, two for Troy, three for Wolverine to round out the trio in this episode. Everybody dies.
Beady, beady, beady. Stop into it.